Good Thursday evening, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Scouting Vlogs. It's my first of the year. I'm Mason Sapesky, your host. So tonight, 1 week from tonight, we will be 10 minutes away from the opening of the NFL Draft in Detroit. The NFL Draft is one of my favorite events on the calendar, and it's always been special to me. I always remember I was talking to my grandfather about it when I was younger. God rest his soul. We always used to talk about it. I always watched it. And it, over the years, has turned into one of my favorite events of the year. And it's actually one of the most important events of the NFL calendar year. I'd actually say it's the second most important event of the year, only behind the Super Bowl. Why? Because the players you draft are the players that are going to make you succeed or fail. Drafting is one of the biggest aspects of a team. If a team drafts bad, there is no possible way for them to be a Super Bowl to make the playoffs, let alone be a Super Bowl contender. It's impossible. And here's why. Only so much of your team can be made up of free agents. And plus, free agents are more costly. Draft picks typically come in on cheaper rookie contracts, and oftentimes they produce better than free agents. The majority of these big free agent signings are busts. We all know this. Look at Miles Sanders, Carolina. He busted. There's going to be a lot of those this year. Calvin Ridley, I'll just throw that one out there right now. Way too early prediction. Calvin Ridley is going to bust. Scouting football players is hard. There will be 32 first-round picks next week. On average, I would say about 24 of them will be busts, considered quote-unquote busts at the end of the day. Only 8 of them will be booms. Let's go back and let's review every pick of the 2023 NFL Draft. And we'll see which ones were busts and which ones were booms. Number 1, Carolina, Bryce Young, 100% bust. Texans, Stroud, that's a boom. That's 1. Texans, Anderson Jr., that's a boom. That's 2. Colts, Richardson, so far looks like a bust. Seahawks, Devin Witherspoon, that's a boom. Paris Johnson Jr., Cardinals, I don't think he did much. I'm going to consider that a bust for now. Raiders, Tyree Wilson, yeah, that's a bust. I was one of the few people that said last year he should not be in the top 10 discussion. He was 31 on my big board last year. And he stunk. So, yeah. Bijan Robinson. This is a toss-up. I would say he boomed. So that gives me 4. Eagles, Jalen Carter. Yeah, he did boom. Bears, Darnell Wright. He wasn't perfect, but he wasn't like horrible. But I think he busted. Titans, Peter Skoronski. I would say that was a bust. Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs. That's a boom. I'll give that a boom. Packers, Lucas Van Ness, definitely a bust. They reached tremendously on him. I had him like 105th on my big board. They reached so badly there. I knew that pick was going to be bad from the get-go. Steelers, Broderick Jones, that's a boom. That's 7. Will McDonald, bust for the Jets. Commanders, Emmanuel Forbes, bust. Patriots, Christian Gonzalez, I like what I saw from him. However, I didn't see enough yet, so I'll just say that's a bust for now because he got injured, and who knows how he's going to be after injury. Plus, he was meant to play in a Belichick system, and now that Belichick's gone, who knows? Lions, Jack Campbell, I think he busted. Buccaneers, Kalijah Kancey, I think he busted personally. Some people thought he did well, but I didn't. Seahawks, Jacone Smith and Jigba, what did he do? He busted. Chargers, Quinn Johnston, biggest bust of the draft. Right there you go, bust. Ravens, Zay Flowers, he didn't do great, but he didn't do bad, but I'd say it's a bust. Jordan Addison, Vikings, that's a boom. Up to 8. Giants, Deontay Banks, bust. Bills, Kincaid, he made an impact, but not enough. I'm going to say that's a bust. Cowboys, Maisie Smith, that's a bust. Jaguars, Antoine Harrison, he did good. I'll give him that. You're going to be your 9th. Bengals, Miles Murphy, that's a bust. Saints, Brian Brisset, I was super high on him. I had him ranked 6th or 5th last year. 6th or 5th, yeah. That was a bust, unfortunately. Eagles, Nolan Smith, another one I was really disappointed in. That was a big bust, too. And Chiefs, Felix and Duke Uzuma, another big bust. So 9 out of 32 picks were booms. Or 9 out of 31. So when you look at it, it's about a 5th. Or, hang on. Or no. 9 divided by 4. It's so about 28% of players succeed that are drafted in the first round. We're going to look at some non-first round players. Joey Porter Jr., Sam Laporta, Brian Brantz, Keanu Benton, Jaden Reed, Rasee Rice. Hopefully he gets out of his legal issues soon. Devon Achane. These are two of my favorite players I like to talk about here. Devon Achane, running back Texas A&M, he's with the Dolphins now. Jair Brown, safety Penn State, he's with the 49ers now. I ranked Achane, I was the only one ranking Achane ahead of Bijan Robinson. I ranked Achane on 11th on my draft board last year. He was picked 84th, and he had a great year. He has a bright future in Miami. Jair Brown. A lot of people ranked him low. I ranked him 44th. What does he do? Picks off Mahomes in the Super Bowl. What did Tyree Wilson, who I ranked 31st, picked 7th, and Lucas Van Ness, I ranked 106th, picked 13th. What did they do last year? They did nothing. So let these people in the media tell you what they want. Because it's actually upstairs, but I went to Barnes & Noble, and I got 2 magazines. Athlon, and I forget the other one, maybe Lindy's. Those magazines, ESPN, these people just go with the trends, and you can't do that. You have to truly watch the players, know what you're looking for, and you know what's going to be elite. When I look at players, I like to see how quick they are. I primarily look at quickness. Can they make the play? Will they have a positive or a negative effect on my team? And they get bonus if they'll be a leader. For instance, I'm going to talk about 3 players on the Georgia football team. At the end of my off-season video, you probably remember me bringing up the tragic murder of Laken Hope Riley, a 22-year-old nursing student in Georgia. Her best friend, by the name of Conley Hoof, posted a touching tribute to her on Instagram. When I was reading the comments, I noticed the 3 Georgia football players commented messages of support that are eligible for this year's draft. Safety Javon Bullard, cornerback Mario Lasseter, and safety Tyke Smith. That proved to me that those players were genuine. They cared, and they truly care. And they're ready to be leaders on day one. And that's what you need in a prospect. And when I turned on the game film for them, I was more than impressed. It didn't surprise me, though, because, again, they are leaders. All 3 of them have received first-round grades from me. You know who has not received a first-round grade from me? A guy by the name of Amarius Mims. He didn't say anything on that Instagram post. And he produced weak game film. Leadership correlates with success on and off the field. Amarius Mims got weak game film. he sewed. He belongs nowhere near the first round discussion. And this one's going to stun a lot of people, but you know who else doesn't belong anywhere near the first round discussion? Jaden Daniels. In fact, he's a high day 2 pick. He should be one of the last names called on day 2. Why? He didn't produce very good game film. He has not proven to me that he's going to be a successful quarterback in the NFL. And I'm going to tell you one name right here, right now, that should not be considered for the number 1 pick. And if he is the number 1 pick, then the Bears made a big fat mistake. And that's a guy by the name of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a very good football player. He got a first round grade from me. However, he is not the best prospect in this year's class. Look at his attitude. And if he was so great, why didn't he take USC to the national championship game? Why? He isn't a friendly offense for him. It was an offense designed for him. Who knows if Sam Waldron's going to design the Bears offense to fit his strengths? This guy has a plan, and he's going to use it. Caleb might stink in it. And what has Trevor Lawrence done for Jacksonville? I don't think he's a bust, but year 1, he won 3 games. Year 2, won 9 games, barely won a division, and had to come back from all the way down before losing Kansas City. And year 3, 9 wins, misses the playoffs. He is nowhere near Patrick Mahomes. In fact, a quarterback by the name of C.J. Stroud overtook him for the best quarterback in that division as a rookie. Caleb Williams is going to bust so bad. Same thing goes for J.J. McCarthy. I have a first round grade on McCarthy, but I'm probably an idiot in doing so. So yeah. Moral of the story is this. You got to know what you're doing. And you got to think outside the box. Because if you don't, then you're not going to be a good scout. And it's not like I am a professional scout, but that's what I want to do someday. So hopefully the advice I give or the predictions I make over this next week will happen. If not, I'll live and I learn. I did not think C.J. Stroud was going to be a very good quarterback in the NFL. I was very wrong on that. However, I did think Devon Achane would be a good running back in the NFL. I was right on that. I did like the potential of Will Levis. And this is one of the things I like to I'm just going to use the word brag because it's simple. Brag about the most. Last year, starting last year, and I'm doing it again this year, during the draft, I have an Excel document up, and it has the team, who they chose, who I would have chose, and my grade. One of the sites, I think CBS and the 34 team, one of the sites had said Vegas Raiders should have taken Will Levis instead of Tyree Wilson. This was like 2 days before the Super Bowl. Guess who on their board had the Raiders taking Will Levis over Tyree Wilson? Yup, yours truly. The 34th team said in February of 2024 the Falcons should have taken Christian Gonzalez over Bijan Robinson. Guess who had the Falcons taking Christian Gonzalez over Bijan Robinson? Yours truly. Finally, another one I like to kind of gloat about. The Chiefs, with the last pick in the draft, picked an edge rusher by the name of Felix Anduze-Uzuma, something like that. I'm sorry, I'm blacking out here or forgetting the name. 34th team said that wasn't a good pick. They should have picked Devon Achane. Guess who had Achane ranked higher than Felix? Yours truly. So yeah, it's interesting. It's complicated. But if you take the time and invest the time, you'll get it right. And I hope over this next week, during my videos, you listen to a lot of good information and you take it how you want to. Can't wait for the ride. Let's get to work.